Stereopathetic Soulmanure is the second independent studio album by American alternative rock musician Beck, released on Flipside in 1994, a week before the appearance of his Geffen debut Mellow Gold. The album shows a strong folk influence, consisting mostly of home demos, live performances, and abstract noise experiments. A low-fi recording of largely anti-commercial nature, Stereopathetic Soulmanure is Beck's third official recording, the first two being Golden Feelings and A Western Harvest Field by Moonlight. However, AllMusic describes the release as months after Mellow Gold, essentially a reaction to the success of Loser, despite the recording beginning well before. Beck would soon return with another independent release, the plaintive and mostly acoustic One Foot in the Grave his third album of 1994 before recording his major label follow-up Odelay. Johnny Cash would cover the track Rowboat on his 1996 album Unchained. As of July 2008, Stereopathetic Soulmanure has sold 146,000 copies in the United States. Track listing: all songs were written by Beck, except where noted. Pink Noise Euro 257, Rowboat Euro 345, Thunder Peal Euro 148, Waitin' for a Train Euro 108, The Spirit Moves Me Euro 210, Crystal Clear Euro 229, No Money No Honey Euro 213, 8.6.82 Euro 037, Total Soul Future Euro 148, One Foot in the Grave Euro 214, Aphid Manure Heist Euro 129, Today Has Been a Fucked Up Day Euro 234. Rollins Power Source Euro 154, Puttin' It Down Euro 223, 11.6.45 Euro 030, Cut 1/2 Blues Euro 237, Jägermeister Pie Euro 107, Ozzy Euro 205, Dead Wildcat Euro 025, Satan Gave Me a Taco Euro 346, 8.4.82 Euro 026, Tasegan Euro 351, Modesto Euro 327, Ken Euro 012, Bonus Noise Euro 1640. This is included on most discs, but not all. This track is also locked. Similar to an LP with a locked groove, the CD track ends abruptly, and the end of the physical track does not allow the lens of the player to bypass it, which repeats the last part of the track in an infinite loop. Alternate track listing there was an alternate pressing that separates No Money No Honey over tracks 7 and 8 and breaks parts of One Foot in the Grave, and Aphid Manure Heist over tracks 12, 13 and 14. This caused all tracks after Crystal Clear to be off from the track listing on the back cover. This pressing also omits the short snippet of dialogue called Ken, yet keeps Bonus Noise on the same track as Modesto. This pressing causes some online track listings, such as the one at AllMusic, to be incorrect. The actual track listing of this pressing is as follows: Pink Noise Euro 257, Rowboat Euro 345, Thunder Peal Euro 148, Waitin' for a Train Euro 108, The Spirit Moves Me Euro 210, Crystal Clear Euro 229, Noise 1 Euro 005, No Money No Honey Euro 207, 8.6.82 Euro 037, Total Soul Future Euro 148, One Foot in the Grave Euro 157, Noise 2 Euro 017, Noise 3 Euro 031, Aphid Manure Heist Euro 057, Today Has Been a Fucked Up Day Euro 234, Rollins Power Source Euro 154, Puttin' It Down Euro 223, 11.6.45 Euro 030, Cut 1/2 Blues Euro 237, Jägermeister Pie Euro 107, Ozzy Euro 205, Dead Wildcat Euro 025, Satan Gave Me a Taco Euro 346. 8.4.82 Euro 026, Tasegan Euro 351, Modesto Euro 2007. Credits: Ken. Vocals: Rachel. Drums: Beck. Banjo, bass, composer, guitar, primary artist, vocals, Rusty Cusack, engineer, Gibran Evans, design, Tom Grimley, engineer, Bobby Heckscher, guitar, Leo LeBlanc, pedal steel, Jimmy Rogers, composer. Notes: Bonus noise contains a reversed song called In the Clover. The techno introduction to No Money No Honey is a low-fi sample of the song Hall of Mirrors by B12, found on their album Electro Soma. The introduction to Today Has Been a Fucked Up Day is a low-fi sample of the song Olivine by Close Up Over. The track Waitin' for a Train is a cover of a Jimmy Rogers song. It opens with a soundbite from Steve Hanft's film Normal. Hanft and Harris are both longtime friends and collaborators of Beck. The track Thunderpeel was re-recorded for Odelay, and later appeared on the deluxe version of that album. Johnny Cash covered the song Rowboat on his 1996 album Unchained. References. External links: Stereopathetic Soulmanure at Music Brains.